Hello again, I'm Matthew from thewetpen.com, and today I have a quick video for you about some ink that is not exactly brand new now, but it's still new to me. And that is the Alchemy line of inks from Endless Stationery from India. I've had my hands full with Japanese inks this year, so I was gonna leave these alone for a while, but I had some good luck. I got a surprise package in the mail a couple of weeks ago from Endless that included 2 bottles of these inks. And then a pen friend of mine who was traveling in India brought me back some sample vials of a few more of their inks. So it seemed like a good time to take a look at all of them together. So let me start off with the 2 bottles that Endless sent me. First of all, recently I've spent a lot more time thinking about the amount of work that goes into box design for inks, and these 2 boxes are pretty impressive. This ink is Candy C, and the box is a holographic blue. I can't seem to get the full effect on camera, but it's pretty cool. And then there's the metallic gold lettering, nicely designed graphics, all very well done. Actually, let me switch to a harder light for a moment. And yes, now you can see that holographic finish on the boxes. And that's all around the box. On this box, the properties are printed on the side, but on the second box, this one is Obsidian Sun. They're on a sticker on the top for some reason. And then this little guy, this box of sample vials, was also made with the same care. It would have been really easy to cheap out on something like this, so I'm impressed to see that they took the care to make it nice. Opening up one of these boxes, there's a card in the top that has a serial number to register it on their website. Not sure what the advantage is there, I never actually do it. And on the opposite side is a swatch card, so that's kind of cool. And underneath is the bottle, very nicely packed with foam. And down below all of that is a cork pad, sort of a coaster. On one side it has the Endless Stationery logo, and on the other side it has a circular indentation. But let's take a closer look at this bottle. Here's the cap of Candy C, and it has the volume listed, and it says the color is blue. And I'll just remove the plastic wrapping on this thing. The label is printed on the side of the bottle, and the bottle is basically the shape of an old 1960s rocket space capsule. And on the bottom we get the branding, and it says, "Designed in Madras," which is the older name of the city that is now commonly called Chennai. But of course, the important thing here is the glass dome in the center, which keeps the bottle from standing upright. If you put the bottle upright on a flat surface, it rolls around from side to side, making the bottle double as a fidget desk toy. And of course, if you want the bottle to be stable, then the cork pad that comes with the bottle is designed so that the divot in the center accepts the dome on the bottom of the bottle, and it stands upright. It's not terribly stable even still, but it's certainly stable enough to use. Candy C is one of the 4 original colors in the Alchemy line, and the other 3 can be seen in this sample box. There's also Drops of Mars, Mystic Forest, and Wizard's Pencil. My second full-size bottle is a later release, and you can see that there are some slight changes to the packaging. The bottle cap is a little bit larger and it fits the shape of the bottle better, and the golden color of the cap is a little bit different too. So let's take a look at the inks themselves, starting with the full-sized bottles. This one is Candy C, and I'm going to swatch it on 3 papers this time. My coloring, Iroful, which is a little bit warmer, and Midori, which is ivory paper. A very pretty blue, nice and vibrant, and as it dries, we get quite a bit of magenta sheen. This isn't the most unique ink color, but it is a really nice one. The color is very similar across the 3 papers, and they all sheen quite a bit, but the texture of the sheen is different on the different surfaces. The ink does dry completely, but of course, the sheen will make a mess if you touch it with fingers that are even slightly damp. And I do get some nice shading with it too. The second bottle is Obsidian Sun, and there's some glitter in the bottom, so I'll give this one a good shake. And this looks pretty black, as you'd expect. But as it dries, we get a pretty heavy amount of gold glitter, and that's true on all 3 of the papers. On the Japanese papers, there's also some silvery gray sheen, which is unusual and sort of cool. And I was very pleased to discover that when I did a writing sample with this ink, I had very consistent amounts of glitter throughout. I don't use glittery inks very much, so maybe that's more common than I think. Okay, up next is the red ink Drops of Mars, the first of the samples in these cool little vials. It doesn't say so anywhere on the packaging, but these are 2 milliliter samples. Nice. This is actually a beautiful medium red. Not as orange as I was expecting from the Mars reference, and it's a little cooler still on the Iroful paper, with that hazy, frosted look that coated papers sometimes get when it's dry. But on the Midori and the coloring, there's a really nice velvety look to this ink. My writing sample is on Iroful, and the ink is a little cooler on that, but there is some decent shading. And the next sample vial is Mystic Forest. This is a medium green, and again, it looks cooler on the Iroful so that it's almost a pine green there. And on all of the papers, there's just a little bit of red sheen, although it doesn't show up when you're writing with the ink. Again, some nice shading. And finally, my last little vial contains Wizard's Pencil. This might be my favorite color of the bunch. It starts off looking pretty gray, but it turns out to be a gray-green that isn't like any other that I own. On the Iroful, it also produces a fair amount of that silvery gray sheen, which I wasn't expecting. When you write with the ink, it can be pretty dark, almost a black. But if you look closely, that gray sheen also shows up here. And in drier pens, there is some nice shading. I haven't had a chance to do a whole lot of writing with these inks yet, but for me, they've all been very typical medium flow inks, with the red being a little on the dry side and the Obsidian Sun on the wet side. But overall, pretty well behaved. And really, this is exactly what I hope for when I buy an ink. Beautiful packaging, interesting bottles, unique colors, and a well-behaved ink. so it seems like a great start for Endless. It's also worth mentioning that these inks don't have that strong phenol smell that a lot of Indian inks do, and the price is not too bad, at least here in the US. They are about $18.50 for standard inks and $20 for the glittery ones. And that's it. I'm getting organized for my Inkvent videos already, and I hope to do at least one more pen review before December, but we'll see. I'm also making ink. If any of that stuff interests you, I hope that you'll take a moment to subscribe to my channel here so that you can catch the new videos when they arrive, and I'll see you back here again soon when they do. Take care out there, everyone, and enjoy your fountain pens and ink.